guys, I'm Ian Moore. I'm a driver trainer and coach working towards some new business goals, and I want to share some of my thoughts and learning with you. Sounds like a dry subject, but trust me, really interesting. I love driving, and I want to share some of my thoughts with you. So over the next few months, I'm going to go through some of my business goals so I can explain to you some of the things that I want to achieve, which are quite exciting, and I think I'm going to share them with you. I'll also talk through a little bit more about myself, how I've come to this position, and you know, where my future is really. At the moment, to set a picture, I'm writing a driving book, a defensive driving book. When I started doing it, I thought it might be a little bit easier than it really is, but it's actually quite hard work to put a book together, structuring it and things. But I'll share some of the learning that I have given myself as part of that process, which is quite hard work, but we're getting there now. Just over 100 pages at the moment, and we haven't got that many more pages actually to go. I think there's probably another 20 pages and we'll pretty much be there. We'll have a chat about how driver trainers, driving instructors, and that's my industry, about how they're trained and also how they're assessed and things, and some of the details within that. So if you're either a driver, either starting out in the process of learning to drive, or you have been driving for years, or you're maybe an instructor or an instructor trainer, it'll be useful for us to share ideas and help each other out really. So yeah, so for example, I want to talk about how driving instructors are assessed and how that process works. So that will be quite interesting. I've also got several modules, module training for driving instructors and drivers, as well as provisional licence holders and other road users, with various different subjects. So at the moment, what's interesting about that training, by the way, it's one of my targets, is that I'm going to be working with people external to the driving instructor business. So at the moment we're working with an NLP practitioner, Ezzy. Quite excited about that project, delivering neuro-linguistic programming training and development for driving instructors and the driver training industry. That's just one example, but we've also got things like I'm discussing with a gentleman about delivering training on dyslexia, or more specifically neurodiversity, and how we identify concerns and challenges that clients might have, and how we develop strategies for that. We've also got a defensive driving package, which I'm working on at the moment with a couple of colleagues, which is going to be packaged up as part of the learning that I've developed from the book. So that's quite exciting, and there's other things in the process as well. So that's part of that process. I also want to have a discussion with you know, all the audience really about how coaching works within driving and driver training. There's a little bit of misconception about what coaching is and what it's there for, what the benefits of it are. So yeah, we'll go through that together, and how I would approach that, etc. I'm also doing some business coaching myself, which you may realise from having some targets that I've currently got. But yeah, my business coach Jane, who's brilliant, has helped me sort of pull out really some of my targets and make sure I do the things I should be doing, and help me out with that process. So that, again, that's another part of this learning process for me. We'll discuss the classic 3 E's of road safety, which are education, enforcement, and engineering. We'll have a quick chat about some of those things and my thoughts on that. One of the things my main target is to try and improve road safety. I want to leave a legacy with road safety. That's one of my missions and targets in life. So a part of that is discussing how the 3 E's work and how they move forward with that. I love cars, always have done. I love driving, and so we will discuss some of the new vehicles that are coming out. I've got an absolute passion for electric vehicles. I think they are the future. And besides that as well, there are other vehicles that I love as well. But yeah, working my way towards having a chat with you about some of those things. I've driven a lot of them, and I can share some of my experiences with you, hopefully. Yeah, I'm working on a course, hopefully, for business strategy for instructors. It's quite an interesting subject. I don't know whether, not necessarily the driving instructor's fault, but the business strategy within the driver training market from a provisional licence holder perspective doesn't seem to work for me at the moment in terms of, a really profitable and good business model. So we'll go through some of my thoughts on that. I've been a victim of it myself, unfortunately, of not having a good business model with that. We'll have a chat also about the learning to drive process, how that works, my thoughts on it, because it's not necessarily how it should be, in my opinion, and it could be better. We'll go through a few book reviews. In the process of writing my book, I've read tons of books. I do anyway. I'm looking on the shelf now. There's a few amazing books with driving, and I want to share them with you. If you're a driver, if you're learning to drive, if you're a driving instructor, if you're a driver instructor trainer, whoever you are, or even if you use the road. I mean, I've got a Cyclecraft book and a few others. There's some fantastic books that I think that will be useful to share with you and go through. And I also have my own thoughts on some of the classic driver training books, things like the Harley Code and Roadcraft and things. So we'll go through some of my thoughts on that. I'm also hoping to bring in to these videos some clients, some colleagues, and some other driving instructors, and maybe some other interested parties, so that maybe we could discuss and bounce ideas off each other in the industry. And I have a passion for not only driving and training and coaching people, but also generally for learning and development. I've started to get interested in health and safety and some of the philosophies within that recently, with some of the work that I do. A lot to talk about. So hopefully we can, over the course of the next few months or so, share some ideas with each other. And this is all about feedback. I'm really interested on some of your thoughts on this. I hope you can give some of that feedback and we can have some thoughts together, and it should be very exciting. So yeah, tune in, make sure you hit subscribe, and we'll catch up with each other soon. Thank you.